This is our group, Susie?
I had expected a few more people.
Okay, no problem. Like,
Stuff happens.
it's quality, not quantity. No problem. And actually, this is nice and intimate, and we can have a wonderful discussion. So, I'm Carol Simon. I was a sisterhood president many years ago, but I am currently a consultant, and I'm the Mid-Atlantic Region Advisor. So, and a past international president. So I welcome all of you. And Donna and Meryl, please do me a favor, unmute. Denise, you too, because we want this to be a discussion. And this session is for you. But before we start, I am going to put my contact information, show chat previews. Can I do this, Susie? I
Should
thought,
be able to. She said the chats were enabled for us.
uh-huh. Okay, so I will give you my email. It's csimon@WLCJ, Women's League for Conservative Judaism.org. So please use it. After our discussion, if you have any questions, this session is for every president. And though I may be touching on topics that for all of you, whether you're new, and I'd like if you could if we can go around. I know Susie, Donna, can you tell me which affiliate you're part of and how
Yes.
this is your first year, whatever.
No, it's my, oh gosh, it's my 50 millionth year.
Okay.
From you came, we asked you to come, if you remember, several years ago. I am a president of Congregation Tifereth Israel in Bensalem, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yes, I was there. Yeah.
Yes, and we enjoyed your visit.
That was my favorite part of my job. Okay. And Meryl?
I'm in a 2-year term, so I finished a year. I have one more year to go, and I'm at Har Zion Temple in Penn Valley, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Thank you. And Denise?
When I signed up for this, I had very high hopes of being an active part. But right now, I'm going to Adath Israel. That may change, and I am no longer going to be the president of the sisterhood.
Okay.
I've withdrawn my name, and we'll talk about that another time.
Okay. Right. And Lori?
Hi, I am part of the Presidium at Temple Bethel in Allentown, Pennsylvania. There
Okay.
are 5 of us, and a bunch of us are doing different sessions. So
That's great.
interested
Well,
in learning.
welcome.
Thank
I
you.
love doing this is one of my favorite things to do is to talk about women's like it's one of my passions. So this is your session. Susie and I talked. I had everything to talk about leadership development, and we'll get there. But before we did this, I just want to go over some resources and review some things that are going to be helpful to all of you. And then we're going to talk about leadership development and succession and structure. And Lori, you're a perfect example of a new structure. So I may call on you about that. And we had somebody come in and go out. Okay. So how many of you know about the database? That is very important. Do you know who your administrator is for your database? Donna, you do. Okay.
Yes.
Meryl, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. So it's really important because I know a lot of people don't want to give you emails or phone numbers or snail mail addresses because they think that it's going to get shared. I can promise you, Women's League does not share any information. We don't even share it with the Torah Fund office. The Women's League database is the Women's League database. And the reason it's so important that we have contact information is so that your members can receive emails from Women's League about everything that's going on, whether it's the Shabbat message, whether it's the weekly message, the Women's League message, also the region information. It's our only way to contact people. So if you have a database that's missing information, we need you to fill it in. Yeah, Meryl.
So, Carol, this has been one of our big problems. And Lynn Landsberg, who's been president in the past said it's an ongoing problem, that even though in our database we have given all of the emails,
Mhm.
our members are not receiving Women's League emails. And it's such a shame, and we can't forward them. There's some problem with the programming of Constant Contact or whatever you're using. And I hope that we'll be able to talk about it and fix that.
Okay, well, I'll take notes. I can tell you that a lot of times if you've given the information, and first of all, my big thing is we don't have problems. We have challenges and we have opportunities. Anybody that was on the Women's League exec when I was president knows that. You can ask Sandy Birnbaum. She knows that. We have challenges and opportunities. I will tell you that we have found that years ago you had to opt in. We don't have that issue anymore. But the issue we do have is if somebody gets one email and they hit unsubscribe, then they're totally unsubscribed. But we can talk about this off, and I'll make a note before we get off. And Susie, give me a 5-minute warning. Can you do that before we end?
Well, Karen is going to give it to us.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we will be
I can
provided with
take down-
2 warnings. Meryl,
Okay.
I have a question before we go on.
Yeah.
Are your ladies getting the Mid-Atlantic region?
I don't think they're getting anything because
Okay,
I've seen them, it's not just one person. It's a large number of people that are not getting them, and I don't understand the challenge.
I don't know.
What's the problem?
Someone from your synagogue wrote to me, and I think
Yes.
they CC'd you. And I had our communications vice president, Barb, and she said it's counting on our constant contact as being sent to everyone, and we're getting that list from Women's League.
Okay, so
I
Meryl,
don't know what's going on. So
okay, Meryl, can you tell me the name of the congregation again and city?
It's Har Zion Temple
Okay,
in Penn Valley.
Penn Valley. Okay, all right. I will follow up with Julia tomorrow.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Rabbi's out of town. She's at her niece's wedding, but I will follow up with Julia and see see where the issue is. In the past, it's always been people just don't want to share the information with us. And it's also a way that the information that comes out on the Women's League Week, there's all kinds of programs. And, we never know what's going to resonate to your members. Something that you think is not important, but may resonate to a member. So it's all these programs that they can
Yeah,
register
I
for.
want everybody to get all the emails.
Right. And it's just, so they can sign up for these programs so that if a member comes to you and says, why are we part of Women's League? We get nothing. That's not the case. All we need is their contact information. And we need you as an affiliate president to ask one person on your board to be the Women's League liaison so that you can share that information at every meeting, at every board meeting, and every exec meeting, whenever you're all together. Just go through a few things that are going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks that people can sign up for. And it's amazing that, we've talked about it. People get the Women's League Week, people get the region newsletter on Shabbat, but a lot of people don't scroll down and read everything. So
But my members are saying they're not getting it.
okay, so I promise, I will talk to Julia tomorrow.
Okay.
can I
Okay.
ask you something? I know that Barb sent you a list, right? Did you have a chance to go over it? A list of everyone that was on the Women's League site?
I don't think she sent it to me. Maybe she sent it to Lynn.
Okay.
Okay,
Lynn is the administrator, but I don't
Okay.
want to take up more time.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure out where the glitch is so that we
all right,
can.
we'll figure it
make
out.
sure.
I'll talk to Julia and also Karen and Ben in the office.
Okay.
So one of the other things is that on the website, how many of you go on the website regularly? Yeah, Denise? Okay, thank you, Donna. There's so much information, but what I wanted to tell you is that there's an area on the website for affiliated sisterhoods. And it's a shortcut to how to update the database. It's also a shortcut for you to download the Sisterhood Advisor. So are you familiar with the Sisterhood Advisor?
Has it been updated?
It's updated every summer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, every summer they update certain publications, so it is updated. One of the things I suggest to your board, download and print one copy and a folder for each, and you have your whatever positions you have in your affiliate, make a
Mhm.
folder, put in the information from the Sisterhood Advisor that pertains, because that way people have information and then a starting point.
What
Also,
is that shortcut again? Can you tell me the name of
yeah,
it?
it's on the website. I did it this afternoon.
Okay.
When you sign on, there's a place for affiliated sisterhoods. And that's a shortcut to download the Sisterhood Advisor. And there's also managing your sisterhood online is also a shortcut. Okay, on the website. And I will tell you, you have my email, we can communicate. I can sit with you while you're online and I'm online, and I can show you where to go and how to find things. Like I said, this is one of my things that I love to do is get together with you, either together or individually, and address your special needs. One of the other things is on the website is there's a link where under consulting services, if you click, you can sign up right there. Consulting services we're a cadre of consultants. Everybody has a specialty and doesn't cost you anything. It's part of your dues. Please take advantage of it. You can have a consultant for you. You can have a consultant for your nominating committee. You can have a consultant for programming and membership. Whatever you need, we'll be happy to supply somebody to be your mentor. I always used to say it's like having a personal trainer, and you don't have to go to the gym. It's much easier. So it's just a phone call away and somebody gets assigned. Have you had a consultant, Lori, Merrill?
No.
No? Okay. I highly suggest it.
I have about 20 experienced people in our sisterhood that are my mentors.
Sometimes it's nice to get somebody from outside, especially for the president. If it's a relationship like I have with Susie. We talk about all different kinds of things. I know Susie has plenty of mentors in her region, but sometimes it's nice to get a different perspective and
Good, thank you.
somebody that's aware of we meet as consultants, we meet once a month, and we're always informed of what's happening, what's going on, what's coming down the pike. And, it's nice to be able to share that information with our affiliates. So,
I'm gonna
like
smell
I
what the
said,
note on the way.
it's something that you should take advantage of. So, okay. Just pop up with any kinds of questions. I would like to know if anybody has specific questions that you would like to ask now before we start talking about leadership development. No?
I'm interested in your ideas about secession.
Okay. So any other requests, Lori, Donna?
Same here.
Succession. Okay. So we can go right to succession if you want and talk about leadership development afterward when we have some time. Okay. I'm real flexible. Okay. So succession is really important to anybody that's been president for more than 3 years. And we know that, there's some affiliates that have the same president for 10 years or, somewhere in between that. Then there are lots of things that you can do. And really, when you start being president, that's when you should start identifying your replacement. So, and you need to be a good delegator. Can you tell me why? Why do you need
Can't
to
do
be a
it all
good
yourself.
delegator?
Was saying you could get burned out quickly.
Yep. Okay. Why else? Why else, Denise? Just shout.
Well,
You don't need to raise your hand. It's
Okay,
all good.
teamwork is always more effective than just one person. lot of different ideas, and you spread the responsibility.
Right, right. And teamwork is great. And, together we always accomplish more. You have more ideas.
And that
Um,
helps the pipeline.
it does. You have to be mindful of the teams you put together. If you put together all procrastinators or all people that are anal, you end up with more problems than not. So you have to be mindful of the teams you put together. But yes, and the other thing is, if you do it all, nobody's going to ever want to take that job because they think that they can't do it the way you're doing it. So that's something else. And you just need to know that delegating creates mentorship, and that's what your job is, to continue, to be mentoring. So, okay, so the succession is structure. Because succession and structure are kind of tied together, because the way Lori is doing it with 5 different people, um, that's a new way to look at it. When I work with a sisterhood affiliate that's struggling with succession, I say you need to be bold, put on your big girl panties, and say we're going to go to a clean slate. We're going to create something new, because the way we've been doing it with exec meetings and general meetings and meetings once a month doesn't always work for all of us anymore. People are busy, life is different, and we have to be open-minded so that we can change our expectations, because you want to succeed, and you want to be able to think creatively. So, Lori, can you tell us how you got to where you are now with 5 people as
Yes, of course. Uh, 2 years ago, we had our closing sisterhood meeting, and there was nobody to pick up the leadership. So, and I knew that prior to the meeting. Um, so I chimed in and said, I will do this, but not alone. And 4 other people said, absolutely, we will help. And then we divided up. Uh, each person has several different committees and things that they work with. Um, and it does work. It's hard to get all 5 of us together sometimes, but our sisterhood would have folded if we didn't do that.
Yeah.
And that wasn't going to happen.
okay, good. Now, were you
So,
president at the time?
yes, there was one president,
Okay.
bunch of vices, and they all went to work mostly full time and couldn't do it anymore or didn't want to do it anymore. So this is what we have. We're going into our 3rd year now.
I was going to ask how long you've been doing it.
Yeah, this will
Okay.
be our
So,
3rd year.
so
And we don't have anybody lined up to
okay.
succeed us.
Yeah. So that's one way to do it. Typically, the way I've seen it, once you have a group like that, and it can either be several past presidents, but what you have done is create a steering committee. And a lot of affiliates have gone that way because nobody wants that title anymore. Nobody wants titles. They want to do a little bit or a piece of something. So my question to you, how do you communicate um, to the synagogue? Like, do you have one person that's a liaison to the synagogue board? Do you have another person that's a liaison doing publicity? So, to share with everybody else.
We are trying to do that, but I mean, one of the 5 of us, um, not necessarily. We're trying to get other people to do that, and it hasn't really worked very effectively so far, I have to say. Um, yeah. We text a lot. We have a group text. We Zoom every now and then when we can't get together, but the 5 of us live like in the same neighborhood, so we can meet.
Yeah.
But we have many, many shortcomings that I would love to see us fix. in the next year or so. You know, we're pulling it together. We're doing the best we can, but is it super effective? No.
You're surviving. Okay, so
Yeah.
my suggestion was let's get you a consultant to help you work through those kinks because I've seen it work with a steering committee like that. Some affiliates will have, I've seen where they have president a month,
Oh.
which which creates its own, the communication is the most important part. If everybody knows what their job responsibilities are and you take all the job responsibilities of the presidency and the vice president, then everybody takes their piece and everybody in the synagogue knows who to go to for what,
Mm.
it works really well. But communication is like this huge, huge part of that. I've also seen, like, do you have several past presidents that are part of your steering committee, Lori?
Not really. They all are working full time. And if you call them, they'll answer you or text them a question, but they don't really come to meetings. Not that we have meetings very often. That's another thing. They used to have meetings once a month or once every other month, and we tried that the first year and like 3 people showed up.
Yeah.
So um we are looking currently for an e-communications person because that seems to be the way of the future, and we hardly do any mailings anymore.
Right. Well, most of our affiliates do a lot of email,
Mhm.
texting. That's also a way to communicate to people, find out how they want to be communicated with.
Mhm.
Some people want a phone call, some people want a text, some people want an email, so
Mhm.
that's also something to help with the succession and structure.
Mhm.
Susie?
I just want to mention, first of all, I'm very happy you're here, Lori. I am so happy to see you because I
Thanks.
think I've spoken with all 5 of you at different times. Um, and I spoke with somebody who said that it was along the communications lines, and she said that she was having difficulty because they didn't have anybody who could make a nice flyer, let's say.
Uh-huh.
And I said to her, and this was early in the year, I don't know whether it was you or someone else. I said, we have people right on the region, and we can do it for you to get you started. We could show you how to do it. And nobody got back to me.
Aw.
So, I mean, I think I think a someone from international would be wonderful, but don't forget we're here too, you know.
Okay. Yep.
And I have 3 ladies, one in particular who is just biting at the bit to make up flyers and to train
Ah,
people.
Loves doing it.
wonderful. I do
Okay,
it. Yeah, I'm currently doing it with another co-president, and we're
okay.
learning Canva as we go.
Well, we're going to have a Canva program.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to have Canva training. We're trying to set it up and find somebody
To do that.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, we're trying. So, and there's also ways for you to get free Canva and things like that.
Yeah,
So,
we use the temples and because our
okay.
director does it. And also I not to diverge, but our director uses Shul Cloud for everything. And Shul Cloud being what it has some sensitive member information in it. So every time we want to do a flyer and collect money online, which is the easiest and most effective way to do it these days, it has to go to her. She has to
Hi, everyone.
recreate the
My name,
form and the code and the URL. It's just a mess. It's um yeah, so we need a lot of help, actually.
Okay. Well, we've
Sorry.
got consultants. Just remember that, Lori.
Yes, I wrote a big star next
Okay,
to it.
good. Okay. So when we talk about succession, it's getting people involved. So the first thing is, sometimes we go through a list and say, oh, this one said no last year, or this one said no 2 years ago. I would say always reach out to people. And the best way to get people involved is that you spend time with them, you get to know them, you find out what they did in their professional life, what they're passionate about, are they creative, what do they love doing? And by one-on-one, making a phone call or saying, let's meet for coffee or ice cream or a glass of wine. And, I really want to get to know you. Then when something comes up, you say, oh, I know, we have somebody in our sisterhood that can do that. And it's not an instant, it takes time. When I was sisterhood president, I met with a lot of young people that I never knew because my kids were older then. And, I found out lots of things about people that you didn't know, that you would not know about, but that it's a resource that you can call on somebody to do something for your affiliate. And it's a way to bring people in. And really what succession is having active members. And that's the whole thing about it. You just want to just continually asking people, having a buddy system. Lori, you said the 5 of you or 6 of you live nearby. Well, do you have other people that are part of the congregation that may not be active? Everybody have a buddy and call them and say, I'm going to this, I'm going to that. Why don't I pick you up?
Hmm.
Because a lot of times people just need to be asked.
Right.
Not everybody is self-motivated. Not everybody moves into a neighborhood or joins a congregation and calls the sisterhood president and says, I'm here. What can I do for you? It's usually somebody sitting back and saying, I'll wait for them to contact me. I joined the congregation, I joined sisterhood, I'm waiting. So it's more of like that building that team, but one-on-one and really getting to know people and what they can do for you. Um, because that's the way you're going to have succession is by having more people, by having the same, how many times do we create our board for the new administration and it's just the same people but they're just doing different positions. That's not growth. What we like to say is if you could get 50% new people on your board every time there's a change of administration, that's a help, and it's a process. Like I said, it doesn't happen overnight, but if you're going to be having some kind of event where you have centerpieces and somebody just loves putting together floral centerpieces or whatever, they're creative, then you ask them. You would not ask an accountant to do that. That's not their thing. So it's like putting people in the right place, asking them to do the right job that they're passionate about will really help you in that succession. So thoughts about that? Can you think of somebody in your sisterhood that you could call up and say, hey, I want to meet you for coffee. Just want to get to know you. Can you think of somebody? Meryl?
So our problem is that we're aging. Our
Okay,
challenge is that we're aging.
I like that.
But it's an opportunity to be mentors
Hmm.
because we have a lot of experience. We have a lot of people that were past presidents,
Okay.
but we're not replacing ourselves. And that will be the challenge to have. I love your idea of 50% new people on the board each time. That's something to really try for. But we hear that the younger women are very busy with their elderly parents or with their children and with their jobs. They're busy, busy, busy. And I can understand that because I didn't myself get involved until I retired.
Right.
So there's your population. First of all, we know that women will find time for things that they really want to do. So if you go to somebody that, an artist, if somebody's an artist in your sisterhood, that they haven't done anything, but you ask them to do just one thing. Can you help us create this one program? That's all you're asking them to do, so that's a way to bring people in. And as far as your aging population, I totally get that, but go to each person. Have they had their position for a little too long? But why don't you ask him if you could mentor somebody? A good way to do that is we have some affiliates that, like sister president, you always have a co. And it's a revolving if you're the co-president, the new president, you have a partner who's already done it a year or two. And every time you do that, it's just revolving. So first of all, no one person is totally responsible. You always have two people, but you always have somebody mentoring the new person. And that new person knows that she's going to be the mentor the next time. So she's looking at things, once you know you're going to be president, you look at things a little bit differently. You're watching out for the little details and the logistics and things like that. But by having this revolving kind of co-president, a first-year president with a second-year president, you have a partnership. So nobody ever feels alone, and you always have that person that you can look to. And, you have a treasurer that's been, and I've seen this, a treasurer that's been there for 15 years, just, say, you know what? We just would love for you to mentor somebody. So if you go away on vacation, we have somebody that can sign the checks, it's somebody that can give the treasurer's report. You're teaching somebody because you have so much knowledge that we want you to share that historical knowledge with somebody else. Will everybody go for it? No. And that's the challenge. But if you start with the people that would be open to that, it's a wealth of knowledge that one person can share with another. And that way you get new people on your board. There's so many different ways to address it, whether it's, getting a mentor or having the new people come in, or just getting different people to do one thing, because nobody wants this big job. Think of years ago, we used to have a hospitality chair, right? And this person was in charge of all the refreshments for every time you got together. But if you ask one person to do it once, or you just ask a few people to bring a few things, you're involving more people that way. And that's also a way to build succession. The more people that have buy-in, the more people that will come. And that's where your teams come in. Instead of having one person in charge, if you have a team of 3 or 4 or 5 people, then they own it. And but it's not a year-long thing, it's one thing. And sometimes that is a good way to bring people in. And we think that women are outgoing and they don't mind going to a big gathering or anything, and a lot of people do. So by creating a team, then they have that network, and then they don't mind being involved because they've already worked with this small group and they've really gotten to know one another. So comments, thoughts, questions.
I like that idea of asking a younger person who feels overwhelmed with how much they're already busy doing, just to help with one thing.
And small.
And not calling them a vice president of something, because that's just way too much.
Right.
But just,
nobody wants titles anymore. Just,
right, just trying to pull them in for one thing, and let's see how it goes from there.
And especially if that one thing is something that they really like doing, or they're passionate about, or it has, if it's something to do with their kids or something to do with their parents, something that's very personal to them, that's a way to bring people in. And once somebody is involved, then, they become friendly, they get to know everybody, and they come. And, the idea of having monthly meetings, people don't show up, right, Lori? They just,
Yes.
Even if it's on Zoom, they don't show up.
Yeah, we just have 3 board meetings a year.
Yeah, you don't need, as long as you can communicate, and as president, what's going on, your teams can be working on things as long as you're part of that, part of the communication. Because we know people are not going to show up for monthly meeting. I mean, they do on the region because they have to, right, Susie? But just, if you simplify things and, go to your board and say, okay, we're going to kind of streamline this. And the other thing I found is that a lot of our affiliates try and do too many things during the year, and you burn people out because the same people are volunteering no matter what, but then in this day and age, people go to the things not because it's sisterhood that's doing it, but they're attending things that they want to and not just because it's a sisterhood thing. You know, you've got that small nucleus that'll show up at everything, but then you have all these other women that just show up once a year. And that's where the new expectation comes in, is that if you can touch different people for different things, that's success. Don't expect everybody coming to everything. That's what we did 50 years ago. Susie?
You know what occurred to me? I had received 2 flyers from 2 different shuls within the last week. They were both pertaining to Mahjong. One
That's
says,
also on my list.
one says come experienced, or we will have a few people who can train you. The other one says experienced only. Let us know. And they're talking about playing 12 games in 2 hours.
Bye.
I haven't played or something like that. So you have to be a real, and I guess they don't want to mess with it.
Day.
But I thought, but when I saw that, I thought, why would I want to be part of that sisterhood? It's like, it's a
Okay, so
horrible thing.
Okay, so we need to think out of the box, and here are some suggestions. So I would assume, and assume, I know what that means, but that you have religious school on Sunday mornings.
Not everywhere, but we do.
Okay, I know not everywhere, but so if you do, I'm going to put quotes around it. If you do, meet on Sunday mornings, have a walk on Sunday mornings, provide bagels and whatever. It also helps the older generation drive during the day, but they won't drive at night.
Mhm.
And, I know at my sisterhood in Florida, we're starting, we kind of revamp things. And once a month on a Sunday morning, we're doing yoga we have a space. And the other week, Sunday, we're going to do yoga once a month. And the other is Mahjong. We're doing it during religious school from 5 to 6:30 on Tuesday nights. And we're teaching, and we figured whoever can come, can come. And once we start, we do it a month or so, and then we'll see if they want to do it more than once a month, if they want to do it every other Tuesday night, whatever they want to do. And that's part of it. Reaching out to some of the women that are not involved now, and just having that cup of coffee and saying, you pay your dues. What can we do that you would be interested in attending? And it's a great way of, getting to know one another. And that's the biggest part of Succession, is people coming in because they want to be with their friends. Plan a dinner or lunch out once a month instead of a meeting. Lori, you have a comment?
Yeah, I was going to say we just put out a survey to all our a questionnaire to all our sisterhood members, and we had a decent response. But our membership committee also did a questionnaire, and they got a better response. The temple membership committee, and we got a lot of names from the entire temple that would, for Mahjong, for Canasta. We have a Canasta club we started last year also that we do at night. And unfortunately, some people can't come because they don't want to come out at night, but
Right.
it just seems to be the best time. But we're starting a second book club now because there are so many new people that want to do that, blah, blah, from surveys that we've done. Just
great. And
FYI.
there Women's League Reads, all the information is on the website under Women's League Reads. Just Google it, put it in the search bar. We've been doing it for at least 12 years. There are all kinds of books. They read a book and interview the author. I know sisterhoods that sit around somebody's living room and,
Right.
watch it. They're all recorded, so you can use it for any of your, book clubs. But that's, we used to call those special interest groups, but book clubs, things like that. People that want to learn how to knit or crochet, those are great ways of getting small groups together. And that's another way. Succession is really just bringing people in. And once they get to know you and and get involved in something that they really like doing. It's wonderful. Another suggestion would be reserving tables at Kiddush once a month just to sit and socialize, have a sisterhood table and, go around. It's up to you and your board and, people that are involved to make sure that they go over to people they don't see a lot and say, why don't you come over and sit at the sisterhood table? Let's get to know one another. And you can even play mahjong on a Shabbat afternoon. After Kiddush, some women can say, you can teach, you can play. There's no reason not to. And that's a nice way to, get people together. One sisterhood affiliate had a share-a-thon. So once a month during Kiddush, they'd have a sisterhood table and they'd have a theme like share a holiday memory, share a Shabbat memory, share holiday recipes, share a craft, talk about a book they just read. You name it. You can come up with something, but like once a month, have a sisterhood table at Kiddush and have a theme and let everybody know, come join us so we can all get together and share this, what the theme is that month. But really, succession is just making those personal connections. And it's not all on you. You need to, have everybody be part of it. And everybody can take a couple of names and say, I'm going to, call this person. And, if it's somebody that's close by, it works even better. So thoughts about all of this? Meryl? You're smiling.
It's a lot to think about. And
It's not easy, and it's not something that's gonna go. It's not like taking a pill and you're gonna, your headache is gonna go away. This is an ongoing thing. But if you, start thinking about things now, it's still summer, right? Still summer. I don't know. Schools in Florida have already started, so not so much summer, but there's still ways to implement some of these ideas during the year. And Susie and I have talked. I would love to do these frequently for your region. Just get together, share ideas. How many of you on the Presnet? Do you go on the Presnet? Donna?
Yes, I have. I
Okay.
sometimes I've missed some for, because obvious reasons.
Okay. Can you share with everybody what you've gotten out of it? Do you think it's worthwhile?
Yes, I do think it's worthwhile because I think that we do is we talk, we share ideas, we share any problems.
Challenges and opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's very good. Like for instance, our sisterhood, I've been president for well, I was co-president for a few years, but I think I believe I started in 2015.
Okay.
But because our synagogue is an older congregation, we do have a younger congregation, younger, but they have their own. And
What do you mean they have their own?
well, they have their own group and they call themselves the next gen. And we have tried getting them involved, but it's a losing battle. So I'm president, but I don't do everything.
Okay.
This one to do this and this one to do that. And, we'll ask, like you were talking about flyers, we have one of our members who does all the flyers and she does an excellent job. In fact, I just had her on the phone. Now, one of the things we are doing that we've never done before, that the first day of Sunday school, which is September 7th, we're going to, that's a flyer that we're working on now. We're going to go by the door of the Sunday school, hand out coffee and a little, snack, and have our gift shop have a table right by the Sunday school, and then also have it, where our actual gift shop to open it. And we're going to see what happens.
Okay. So have you ever tried to do a joint or, a joint event with the other group?
We tried. but it didn't work. Now we are going to be doing some one or two joint events with Men's Club this year.
Okay, okay. All right, good. Lori?
Yeah, I was about that. I also run our gift shop, and our first day of Hebrew school is the 7th as well. And we're having a big 25% off sale, almost everything in the shop to get people in because the parents come in also.
Right.
And we also do things with Men's Club. Of course, we end up doing most of it, but we advertise them as well. So we get their 12 people to come. And we are have the same problem that everybody else does. An aging congregation, young people aren't interested, busy with their kids, they have a job, and they want to go to sleep, after that.
It's a universal, no matter
Yes.
where you are, whether you're in a big town or a big
Mhm.
city or a little town or a medium, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That we all have the same challenges, we all have the same opportunities. It's just the world we live in right now.
Right.
But there's all different ways to think about how to do things so that you're out there. So, do any of you print out like bookmarks to put in the Moxers during? Okay, so
Did
you
that
do
last year.
with your calendar. Do you-
Yes, we did that last year, and I still have, we printed 300. I have 150 from last year that are do me no
Okay.
good anymore.
So on the flip side of that calendar bookmark, do you put in things that the sisterhood has done for the congregation?
I did.
Okay, because a lot of people don't know.
Exactly. And that's why I did it. I
Yeah.
told them how much Sisterhood gives the temple every year for the operating budget, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Good, because that's really important because so many times, the congregants, unless their significant other is involved in the sisterhood, they never know what the
Right.
sisterhood does, buy the new refrigerator or oven or chairs or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's important too.
Yeah.
I love that idea,
Yeah,
the
Donna?
bookmark.
What, Meryl?
I love that idea about the bookmark in the Siddur.
Mhm.
Terrific.
It amazes you that people don't know about Torah Fund, don't know what the sisterhood does, and no matter how many times you may put it in a sisterhood article in the congregation bulletin or on the website or whatever, it's like, you've been talking to the wall.
Great
Good.
idea.
Yeah, it works. Donna?
One of the things that they started last year was at high holidays at Rosh Hashanah, they handed out a booklet and a handbook. And in the handbook, each, wing, like the next gen, the Men's Club, Sisterhood,
So every arm of the
you know,
congregation.
exactly, not financial, the religious, I can't think of the word that I want to use, but I don't have the book here, for the ritual committee.
Okay.
And what we did, like this is our page. In fact, I just sent it, and we have a blurb about what, with what our sisterhood does, and with Terra Fun and Women's League, and then we have a list of the calendar events that we're having, and talking about the pledge that we always give to the synagogue, so
Right.
people are aware. We're trying things.
Good. And people don't read, so, instead of paragraphs, bullet points work so much better because
Right.
people can, they see it.
Yeah, and this handbook is handed out then, but it's also we have several handbooks where the prayer books are, so people can come in and pick it up all during the year. And
Yeah.
I think that it's a very good, a good thing that we're doing right now.
Good. Okay. Lori, did you have your hand up again?
No,
No.
I was
Okay.
just looking for my
wanted to
bookmark.
ask Donna something.
Okay.
And it pertains to everybody. And we all have the same problem in our congregations. The older people are the ones who have time, and the younger people have careers and kids and what have you. But I spoke to one group, of younger people. And they didn't realize that we couldn't read from the Torah for our bat mitzvah. Do you know what I mean? They didn't realize that Women's League internationally was the one who, advocated for it. It was women, who had to deal with the patriarchal hierarchy, to get there. And, they're one group, and, we're trying to conserve our movement, and I don't think they thought about it that way, and a few people came to me afterwards and actually talked to me about perhaps doing something on the regional board and helping, which I thought was very interesting because they changed their mind. But you know what got them out there? Wine. My daughter-in-law said, have wine.
Wine and,
When
not just wine, drinks,
Yeah.
and catchy titles.
Exactly.
Like we're going to be in the sukkah, but it have sushi in the sukkah or sake in the sukkah. It's just catchy titles.
Yeah.
And we were talking about muumuus one day, and they said, well, we can have muumuus and mimosas by the pool. So just crazy little ideas like that sometimes just, catch somebody's eye. So
Alliteration is always good
Yeah.
on flyers.
Sushi in the sukkah. Yeah.
yeah, sushi and the sukkah and all kinds of other things. But yeah,
In the hut. Yeah.
and my rabbi in Florida does a craft drink to go with the parsha once a month. So he does this
Good
whole
idea.
parsha, and but you know what? It gets people there.
Sure, that's a great idea.
Yeah, just different things. Also, if you have enough people that attend Shabbat services, sometimes during the Torah service, if you can have a group come out and either just study, do yoga, Torah yoga, it's also a way to bring women together because usually it's the women doing the Torah yoga, not the men. But, just being creative and thinking out of the box and asking people for ideas. And as presidents, the biggest thing you can say is, let's try it. Never say no. I think the worst things that come out at a meeting of we have always done it that way. We tried it years ago and it didn't work. And you just need to shut that down because you'll never get anybody, with new ideas if that's what they're going to hear. So you need to be able to be positive and creative and know that you can get from point A to point B in lots of different ways. And there's no wrong way. It's just a different way. And we just need to be thinking out of the box and that everybody has a great idea. And we just need to, and you need to mentor people. So can everybody think of somebody, I asked this question before, that would be a replacement for yourself? Or a couple of people. It's always interesting if you ask two friends to work together and say, would you do this project for sisterhood? Or would you, be co-presidents? If you get two friends that enjoy doing things together, you've got a success. Or if you know two people that you think would get along, because Women's League is really good about that. We pair people up to do things for convention or on the region level, and you make new friends. And I think that's what it's all about, is the friendships that you make and the journey that you're on. It's really important. And it's very special.
It's the sisterhood.
It's
Right.
sisterhood. It really is. And, I know so many people in your region only because I've been involved for so long, and I would never have known them if it hadn't been for sisterhood and for Women's League and for my region. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, it's a special thing. I just want to go over a couple of things that we talked about the president. Meryl, have you signed up for the president? Do you know what it is?
No.
Donna talked about it. Okay, so It's just for sisterhood presidents. They meet once a month. Debbie
For
Bruce is
Presnet,
the president.
yeah, I'm just bad.
You're just bad. No, no, you're not.
I
You know
know
what it is? We started it years ago.
it's like a Monday night.
Yeah.
Is it Monday
Yeah.
nights?
It's
Okay.
a hard time.
d-
Yeah.
So they're recorded, so you could watch them. I'm not saying you're going to make every monthly meeting, but it's just for sisterhood presidents. Not even Julia Loeb, who's our international president, can get on. When I was president, I was not allowed to even know what was going on. But it's a forum for you to be able to discuss. There's always a theme. Sometimes Debbie Bruce has a speaker on a certain topic, but it's just a place for you to pose a question. So a couple of years ago, we had an affiliate, and the synagogue wanted to take their money. They wanted to incorporate the sisterhood's funds into the synagogue's funds.
Hmm.
So the president went on the president and posed this question, and she got enough information that she could go back to her synagogue president and say, this is what I found out from across North America. And this is why we shouldn't be doing, and we're not going to be doing it. But it was just, she had all this information as a backup that was just, part of the discussion. So I would love for you to go to every meeting, but it's just a way for you to get information. And if you have a situation that comes up, and you can't get a hold of Susie, and it's just for sisterhood presidents, a safe place to say anything.
Did
So-
everyone see the 5-minute notice? I just want to make
Yes,
sure.
I did.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is Leadership Institute. We just had one in New Jersey. It's in New Jersey,
Yep.
right? Denise just came back.
Yep.
Women's League has been doing this for over 30 years. It's one of the best experiences you will ever have. I taught it for many years. We've had people that were doctors and lawyers, and they said they came away not only with skills for being a leader, but just lifelong skills. And we do them twice a year. We do them once in the summer and once in end of January, February. We move it around, but I would highly recommend signing up for the next one. The region has funds to help. Women's League has funds to help. And sometimes you can get your rabbi and using some of his discretionary funds. We try and keep it very, very reasonable, but I would suggest doing that. And the other thing is Women's League is very strong in sustainability. Have you heard of the reverse tashlich?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so go on Repair the Sea. This has been going on for about 8 or 9 years. It started in Florida, and it's a good way to start the holiday season. It doesn't replace the regular tashlich, but what it is you go and clean up a park, a lake, an ocean, and you're taking things out of the sea instead of putting things in. So the website is repairthesea.org. And if you have any questions about it, I'm on the board. I'd be happy to answer them. You have my email. Let Susie know if you want to do this several times during the year. I would love to do that.
Give us your email again.
csimon@wlcj.org. And my cell is 813-928-1761. I would love phone calls or text.
And by the way, on the region level, we have been advertising. We haven't gotten that much, but if you have a flyer for something coming up, please send it to me, and I will see to it that it is put into our newsletter, which we call Marvelous Messages now. And we actually have one sisterhood who has not been active. You'd be surprised if I told you, because it's a very, very famous synagogue in Elkins Park, but I don't want to mention the name. Anyway, they hadn't been active. I happen to know the president well from other resources, and she put it in, and I have 3 of my people going. and she would have never had that. And, you know, I think that we need to do that. And we are far apart. And, you know, I know it's hard, but maybe we could work something out. The region has resources. Okay, we have some resources. So we can help out with travel or something like that, or I don't know. We can,
Just remember your region's here for you and Women's League is here for you.
right,
We
right.
want to help in any way we can to make your lives easier and successful. And
Carol, thank you for your energy. Your enthusiasm has been really a real good pep talk. Thank you.
good. I hope to hear from all of you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. I'll email you.
Okay.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you.
Okay, Lori, I suggest getting a consultant to help with it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, sounds
Good
great.
seeing you, Laurie, and
You too.
Denise and
Everybody.
Donna.
Good
and
seeing you,
Susie.
Donna.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for coming, and thank you.
We appreciate
Carol.
your time.
Okay, thank you.